The Suspicious Melon Vendor. This happened about 5 years ago. I was working part-time at a video game store while studying. One day, there were just the store manager and another employee besides me in the shop. It was a holiday, but business was slow. After handling some chores around the store, a middle-aged man in overalls walked in. "Welcome," the manager greeted. But before he could finish, the man approached the counter. Excuse me." "Yes. How can I help you? Would you like to buy some melons?" We all stared at him, confused. The man claimed he was a vendor from the Tohoku region and was selling melons at a low price. The manager initially turned him down, but the man persisted. "How about just a taste? If you like it, then you can buy some. If not, no pressure." The manager, clearly intrigued, finally relented. The man said, "Wait a moment," and stepped outside to get the melons. I stood there, bewildered. To be honest, I wasn't fond of melons, but something about this guy's awkward demeanor unsettled me. A few minutes later, he returned, carrying a box of melons, a cutting board, and a large knife. The sight of the blade made the manager's face turn pale, and a cold sweat trickled down my back. Unfazed, the man pulled out a melon from the box and began slicing it with an unsteady hand. Despite his awkwardness, the knife slid effortlessly through the fruit. As I watched, a feeling of dread crept over me. "All right, try it," he said, offering the freshly cut melon to the manager and me. Reluctantly, I took a bite, unable to defy the tense atmosphere. It was a melon that I wouldn't call delicious. It tingled and burned in my mouth. I wasn't the only one who felt this way. The manager and the other employees seemed equally unimpressed. We all agreed not to buy any. "You said if it was good, we would buy it, right?" The man still held onto the knife, and his eyes were beginning to glaze over. It just didn't suit our tastes," the manager replied, his voice shaky. The man insisted, "It's 3,000 yen each. If each of you pitches in 1,000 yen, you could buy one." The manager's expression grew increasingly desperate. The man, however, seemed to be getting more agitated. His face flushed with an unsettling excitement. I could see that he was on the verge of losing his temper. To our surprise, he suddenly said, "Fine, I'll leave. But could you carry the box outside for me?" We were all taken aback. Why couldn't he just take it himself? None of us moved. The man remained still, waiting for us to react. After a moment of silence, a small child walked into the store. Feeling a wave of dread, I said, "Manager, I'll take it outside." As I lifted the box, the man followed closely behind. The manager, clearly anxious, trailed us. Outside, a familiar-looking van was parked. This was presumably the man's vehicle. "Put it in the back," he instructed as he opened the hatch. But instead of a pile of melons, the back was empty, except for another man in overalls, his eyes cold and menacing. "I'll just leave it here," I muttered, trying to avoid looking at him as I set the box down and stepped back. Just then, I heard the hatch slam shut behind me. Before it closed, I distinctly heard the man inside the van click his tongue in annoyance. They climbed into the van and sped away, vanishing into the shadows of the town.